If you want some tips on how to style your hair with a curling wand, not a curling iron, I'm going to share exactly how I do my hair every time I style my hair when I'm using a curling wand. I use a curling wand, I would say 80% of the time. Right now, I haven't been using a curling iron for years and years and years, ever since I learned how to actually use and master a curling wand. There are so many different styles and sizes of curling wands. You have the super tiny ones, you can have like big, like 3-inch ones. This one I believe is a 1/4 inch wand. The one I'm gonna use today, I believe is a 1 1/4. There's also the colander inverted big to little style wand. I'm using the T3 Switch Kit Curl Trio. So that includes this 1/4 and this 1 1/4, and then it also has a curling iron. You can just change out the barrels. You just unhook it from there. I'm not gonna do it because that's very hot. Super easy to use. So I'm going to go through exactly how I curl my hair, do it with you guys right now. Hopefully it helps. I know I had a lot of learning to do when I first started using a curling wand, and honestly it takes a lot of practice. So practice is your best friend. When we do this, let's get to it. Real quick, if you're new here, my name is Jen. I'm a mom of 3 from Minnesota. I love fashion without the fuss, and that includes easy to wear hairstyles that I'm not gonna spend hours and hours in the bathroom every day. I have 3 young children and I run my own business. So time is of the essence, so I try to get the most out of what I'm doing, and these hairstyles can usually last me 2 or 3 days with maybe a little bit of touch up in between. So they're great for multi-day wear. Let's do it. So first of all, when I start, I always pin my hair, the top layer back. So I usually leave out, I don't know, about half. I did do my blow dry brush to dry my hair. I actually have a review on the T3 blow dry brush as well as the Revlon, if you would like to see that. And also I have very fine thin hair, so curls don't hold quite as good, so I do use a little bit of product before and after. So when I dried my hair, I used the L'Oreal Volumetry, say that 8 times fast, L'Oreal Volumetry spray, as well as the Kerastase. This is great for heat protectant. Always use a heat protectant. I always use this or some sort of heat protectant before I blow dry. If I'm going to style my hair the next day, or if I'm adding in, I'll use like an Olaplex number 7 or another spray that has a heat protectant for the next day. So today, since I already used a heat protectant before I blow dried my hair, I'm going to use this Kenra Volume Spray. I like to just spray a light mist on each layer before I do it. I try to let it dry so it's not like putting hot things on my wet hair. I'll brush it through. And then you take your wand. So I have this at about the medium setting. Depending on your hair type, you'll want a different heat setting. It says it on the box, but for more fine thin hair, you want it at a lower temperature. For thicker, more coarse hair, you want it on a higher temperature. So when I do this, I usually try to grab a small chunk, angle your wand down, and then you're just gonna wrap it around, and I leave the ends out. This, I feel like, gives a more natural vibe. I also like the more straight end look, so I will actually use my flat iron to even make it a little bit more straight if I see fit. So I'll do a couple with the hair wrapping to the back, like this. Let it hold for, I don't know, 5 to 10 seconds. The longer you hold it, the more your curl is going to keep. And then I try my best to not touch it. So I'll get through the entire layer, try not to touch the curl. This will help extend how long your curl will last. And then you'll see what I do. Then after I do 2 back, then I do 1 forward. Doing it this way, I feel like just gives it a more natural look. So then all of your curls are not getting connected. They're not like laying on top of one another. It just falls a little bit more easy. So I'll go through my entire head. I'll try to show the back. I don't know how well this will work. And then we'll do the other side. I feel like the smaller chunk you get, oops, I want to make sure that this is out. We don't need extra hair in there. Also, if you don't have these kind of clips, they are magic when you do your hair. I use them for everything. I even use them in my shower when I put in conditioner. So then the hair that is down, if it gets hit by the water, it won't get hit by the water because it's clipped up. I don't have to worry about it. Okay, so the smaller chunk that you get, the more defined the curl will be. I also have zero problems with redoing a curl. So like this front one looks a little wonky. So I may go over it again. Also the bottom layer, you don't have to worry quite as much because it's on the bottom. Nobody will really see it. Okay, so got the bottom layer done. I will then take my flat iron and I will just flatten out the ends just a little bit. Now I'm going for a more like loose wave style. So that's why I'm using a slightly bigger iron. You'll see that it's not going to be like super curly like ringlets. And that's what I'm going for. Okay, I also use this Living Proof Dry Volume and Texture Spray if you're somebody like me that has very fine hair, thin hair. You'll want a little volume. So I'll spray this in the strands. It just gives it a little bit more volume. A little more, bit more. Blah, blah, blah. Now, even though I don't have that thick of hair, I usually will do the next section in 2 layers. I will just leave out the very, very top portion here. It's a great look, isn't it? And again, I will spray with the hairspray. Got the face there. And then we do it again. So, take a small chunk from the front and wrap it around. You want to hold it nice and tight. So I'll actually like pull the bottom, like the piece of hair that I'm holding, I'll pull it a little bit and that will have it hold really tight next to the barrel. If you don't do that, that's when the curls will be even looser. So if you are looking for like even less of a wave, if you just want like a slight bend, then you can just like very gently wrap the hair around the barrel to give it just like a slight bend. And the amount of hair that you grab per each chunk makes a huge impact on what the outcome looks like. So if you want something that is really curly, a lot more defined, a lot of curl, take smaller chunks. If you want more of like a beachy wave, you want to do bigger chunks. Same goes for how long you're holding it. So if you want just like a very slight wave, a little bit of bend, you don't need to hold it that long. Also, if your hair holds curl super well, you don't need to hold it as long as I'm holding mine. Since my hair does not hold curl very well at all, I do my best to hold it for a decent amount of time. So then when I pull it out, there's actually curl, because that will just help it to last a little bit longer. If I take a lot of time and like curl my hair very well, like today, I can usually wake up the next day and have it be more or less ready to go. I won't have to do much touch up to it. However, if I like fly through it and don't hold it very long, since my hair doesn't hold curl very well, then the second day I'll have to add a little bit more just to give it a little bit more curl. And see, that chunk was maybe a little bit too big. Ouch. There we go. Through the back, I'll turn around. Okay, so second layer is done. I'm gonna take my flat iron again. This is the NuMe flat iron. I really love NuMe. Their products are really nice. They are, I would say, on par with T3. They have a really good automatic curling iron that I really like. If you're into automatic curling irons, I should do a tutorial on that because those are also a beast to figure out. Okay. Second layer, good. We'll add some more texture spray. I like to do this in layers, so then each layer is getting a little bit of love, a little bit of product. I try not to put too much so it's not like caked in there. Also make sure you give it a good shake before you use Living Proof stuff. If you are using like the Living Proof dry shampoo and you have a white layer on your hair, it's because you're not shaking it good enough. You'll probably see it like come out white, but if it lands on your head and it's white, just give it a better shake next time. And that should, in theory, make it so it doesn't do that. So I don't know why I always wince when I put hairspray on. Like it's gonna like hurt me. It's not even like wet or cold. My daughter is wearing off on me whenever I spray anything on here. She's like, ah. Okay, top layer. The hair closest to your face, you always want to go back. If you put them forward, if you curl it towards you, they're just gonna like fall awkwardly into your face. Let those beautiful eyes get shown. So we'll take a little bit, curl it back, let it go. Same thing. There's not all that much hair to do up here because I have very fine hair, obviously. When I do the top, I don't typically do the third one forward just because there's not that much on the top, and I did that all around all the other layers, so I feel like it blends in a little bit easier. So other side, again, leaving that little bit out. And if you don't like the straight end look, you can just wrap it all the way around. Just be careful that you don't wrap it too much that you burn your fingers. I feel like the most common thing that you hear about with people using a wand is burning their fingers. And that is mostly like when you're just trying to get that curl all the way to the bottom. Partly why I do the straight end. Number one, it makes my hair look longer. I'm trying to grow my hair out. So I like the straight ends because it makes my hair look longer. And number two, I'm not gonna burn my fingers if I am leaving some out to straighten at the end. All right. And you'll have to test with your hair if you like just doing 2 layers, if you have like a full third layer that you need to curl. Okay. The other thing too is the longer you let them cool without separating your curls, the longer they will stay. So when I'm not filming my tutorial, I will finish and then I'll like do my makeup or clothes or go eat more coffee or whatever, and then I will really mess with my hair. One thing that really annoys me is when there's like ringlets stuck together. I don't know why it bugs me. Whenever I see people with ringlets stuck together, I just want to run my fingers through their hair. Loosen those up a little bit. And there you go. Fairly easy, fairly simple. Again, with each person's hair, you may want to fix little pieces. I always have weird like bends at the top here, so I will oftentimes just come through with a flat iron and just flatten those out a little bit. Also, when it comes to finishing, you could always use a hairspray. You could use your texture spray. I highly recommend the texture spray if you have fine, thin hair. Two other things that I really love for finishing is this Bumble and Bumble Brilliantine. I have literally used this since high school. I'm not gonna date myself and tell you how long that's been, but I'll just put a tiny bit in my hair. And I mostly focus on the ends, especially since I flat ironed them. I don't want them to be like frizzy or look really dry. So I will put a little bit through there and then also just through at the top just to give that a bit of a smoother finish. And then for those of you with fine hair like me, something that I love to do to give it just a little bit more definition is using the Aveda Control Paste. Again, another thing I've used since high school. I've tried other things. Both of these I have tried other things, but I just like keep coming back. So I put the smallest amount in my hands, you know, rub it through my hands, and then gently just scrunch my hair. I feel like it gives it just a little bit more of a piecey look. It helps it stay a little bit better and helps keep the volume a little bit more. And there you go. I hope this was helpful. I hope you try it out. If you have any questions about what I did along the way, leave me a comment and I will be happy to answer them. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.